Hey, everybody. I forgot to start the recording till now. We've been going a few minutes, so sorry. I remembered, at least I remembered it all. What other issues have come up that maybe you all weren't ready to answer or you didn't know how to answer?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When they ask you for information about some of the products or just about Plexus, I get sort of, stuck on what all to send. I don't want to bombard them with a lot of information, but how do I pick what I should send?
Well, did you all, when you first joined,
Are you there?
did you get like a welcome email from your sponsor welcoming you to the team?
Yes.
Typically, we will do that. I have 5 letters myself. I have an interest letter, which is if they show any interest, I get their email and send them that. Now, I have since decided emails are not nearly as effective as calling them or even texting them, because sometimes an email can sit there in my box for months. I don't even notice it. But from the beginning, when somebody shows an interest, I get their email and I send them that interest letter, and it usually has 3 or 4 attachments that kind of gives them the basics of the price list, how Slim works. I'm trying to think of what else is on there. The difference in becoming an ambassador or being a customer. There's 3 or 4 things like that. There's kind of some basics. Then it has your website link on there. They can always go and look for more details there. But I have the interest letter. I have a potential ambassador letter, a new ambassador letter, a new customer letter, and then I've written a triplex letter. Now, I'm in the process right now of revamping these, and then I'll share them on our Pretty in Pink wall. You could download them and change them for yourself. And my old letters are on there now. If you look in the file of Pretty in Pink, and I think I have listed out on there what attachments I send them.
Okay.
And that's what Aaron sent us. That's what Aaron sent Brandy, what Brandy sent me. And so we've adjusted it a little bit, but you can get those right now. So that's always a great basic thing to send them. And I'm at the point now, like, I'd really like to send them the new product video that Plexus has put out. I think it's 7 minutes. It goes over every product. It gives them kind of an overview of everything. Because really, most of them do not want to know the science and detail. They really want to know, what's it done for you? What's it going to cost me? That's right. It. And that's where the stories sell much more than the details. But even to send them a diamond documentary, the diamond documentaries go into their health and into their money. And so I think those are always really inspiring. And so lots of times with people, when I do the Eric Worre thing and say, hey, if I sent you something, do you think you'd have a chance to look at it in the next few days? When do you think you could look at it? I'll send them a diamond documentary and just say, you think this is something you'd ever be interested in? And like, I had a guy a couple of weeks ago that his son's on the football team with my son, and he said, hey, what about this Plexus stuff? And I said, oh, I'd love to tell you more about it. Let me send you this link. It's only about 7 minutes long. If you could watch it, then I want to talk to you afterwards. And let me know as soon as you've watched it and we can talk. Well, I sent him Coach Ronnie Cuevas, who was a coach for Mississippi State football. And I knew, like, he's a football maniac. He's going to eat this up, And I think Ronnie and his wife both are diamonds. So I try to think about, people that I'm talking to and what would interest them. If they're a nurse, I look for a diamond documentary about a nurse or whatever. So I think those are always good things to send, because it's true. Stories sell. Mm-hmm. That the stories really, they're real people and they're honest people, and that's what, what really gets people interested, I think.
Okay.
But I think it's a great question. It's a common question. Look in the files section and maybe get your letters together, and then you feel like you've at least got kind of a basic thing to send to them. Okay. And then, of course, the more personal the follow-up, the better. But the email thing is always good, because it will sit there, and if they need to go back and look at it, they've got it. Unlike a text message, which, gets lost in the shuffle, kind of like our news feed on the Go for Silver page.
I have a question on that topic. Do you then at that same time send them the price of it also?
I send the basic price list that's in that chart, But I've really been thinking, on Plexus Power Tools, he has a price list that shows a picture of each product. It tells a little bit about what each product does. Then it has the 3 prices of the 3 ways to buy. And I really think when I redo my letters, instead of just doing the chart, because when I got that chart, I didn't know what any of that stuff was. I didn't know what it did or what it was. And so I think to have that information that says, here's what this product does, and the 3 ways to buy, that helps them be a little more educated going into it about what they need. But most people, in my experience, and I've gotten a lot more bossy lately. Hi, Pat. Glad to have you. They really want you to tell them what they need. They do get overwhelmed with too many options. We have 14 products that can be used in a variety of ways for different things. And honestly, when you just, and most people, if they have any health issues besides wanting to lose 5 pounds, if they want to lose 5 pounds, then I'm like, let's start with Slim. Maybe get an X Factor vitamin if you're interested. You have no other health issues, and I've had one lady, and she was 55, no health issues of any kind, nothing except I just want to lose this little pooch. I'm like, well, let's start with Slim. But pretty much everybody these days, I'm like, you need Triplex. You need to start with Triplex. And I think it gives them, when you're confident about what they need, it gives them confidence. And so then when they say, well, I think I want to sign up as an ambassador, and you, or a customer, let's say they want to sign up as a customer, and they say, yes, that's what I want. If that's what you think I need, then that's what I want to do. And you say, okay, can I call you right now? We'll take care of it. Call them up. You do the order, walk them through that. They get everything they need, and their products are coming. And when you do that as an ambassador, if they say, yeah, I think I want to be an ambassador, and you call them up and you start walking them through the process, and you say, okay, the first option you get is a welcome pack. I think you need the triplex. So you can get the single triplex or the double triplex. Which one do you want? Just narrowing down the choices, because I think lots of times when people go to sign up themselves, they get to that welcome pack page. There are all these options. They don't know what this stuff is. We've had some back office issues with the computer. It's just better at this point for you to just do it. And just give them fewer choice. Just say, this is what I think you need. Do you want the single or the double? Okay, now we're going to do your order that you're going to get every month. Again, I think you need the triplex. And they go, okay. Where I just think I thought before, like, oh, they need to see all the options. And, I don't want them to feel like I'm just railroading them. But they're relieved. They are so relieved just to have you do it and tell them what they need and get their stuff. Most people. I wouldn't say it for absolutely everybody, but so far since I've been doing it that way, every person gets a welcome pack. Every person has a backup order, and every person is getting the products that they need. Where if you send them to your website alone, I've had people check out that needed triplex, and they end up with a children's vitamin and a breast check kit. Right. I mean, you don't know what you're going to, and then, or they get Slim, and they need triplex because you can tell they got candida issues. Then they get Slim and ProBio, but they don't get the BioCleanse. And then it doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. And, so for you to have confidence, and if you don't know what they need, you text your upline. If you can't get your sponsor, you text the next person up, and they will tell you exactly what that person needs until you gain some more confidence knowing. And I did post, did you all see it? I have a document about different medical issues and the best products for those issues. Mm-hmm. Yes. The photo album. Yes. And I just found that and thought, gosh, I wish I'd had this 2 years ago. Because, for a while I'd go on the Diamond page, the Destination Diamond page, and be looking up rheumatoid arthritis because I didn't want to call Brandy and Aaron every single time. And so just that sheet helps a lot. We'll probably be adding more to that. Hi, Debbie. We can't see you, but I see you're here.
Hi.
Hi. So does that help you as far as knowing like the process and how we're doing that? I think your posture and your confidence goes a long way, with them to feel confident. And early on when you're still earning while you're learning, I know you don't always feel confident, But that's what we're here for, is to be a resource and help you, be sure they're getting what they need. And so I've just been thrilled with the way this week has gone, and you guys kind of getting out of your comfort zone and doing some of these things that now when you start posting on Facebook 2 or 3 times a day, and I would encourage you at least 2 or 3 times, because the way the algorithms work, if you only post once a day or even twice a day, over 50% of your friends are not going to see it. And if you just hit share, they are not going to see it. That's an even smaller subset of your friends. Sharing it, when you're desperate, when you're on vacation on a honeymoon with your husband and you have 0 time and all you can do is hit share. I hit share when that happens. But to copy and paste, so many more people see your stuff. But you almost have to post I would say at least 3 or 4 times a day. I try to post 5 or 6 times a day. And if people get sick of it, they get sick of it. Have you all had anybody complain yet?
I have. I told you that my old coworker said he was going to smack me in the face with Plexus. I was like, good, you're reading my posts. Good job.
And in 3 months, he'll say, okay, you've worn me down. Tell me what this stuff is. I'm going to join your team. It happens every time. The thing is, it tells you they're listening. Like that's what
I said to him.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support. That's what I said. and I will say, because I just started using Buffer after our call last week. When I started using Buffer, because Joni had been on me about it, but I just didn't do it, and then I finally did it. And I will tell you that I have gotten so many more responses, just people messaging me. Like one day I had 4 messages in the morning within like 2 hours after my posted. So I will say that
I think Buffer helps with the emotional part of it too, because you set up
what is Buffer?
Buffer is an app that'll post for you. You set up the times and it posts for you. And then, like, when you're writing out the post, you kind of have this emotional attachment to the post, and you hit post right then, and then you keep checking your phone to see if anybody responds. It's like asking somebody out.
Yes.
It's like an automated response asking them out, and you don't know really when it's going to happen, and you're not watching the phone the whole time. It helps me with that part of it. So it's just happening, and I don't think about it. And it'll do it up to weeks in advance. I mean, you can load it up. If you're going on vacation, load it up and you're good to go.
Well, for free, I think it's only 10. You can only have 10 saved.
And it's just under Buffer in the App Store?
Yeah, just Buffer. It may be buffer.com on the computer.
Okay.
But like anybody,
I will say the computer is confusing, because I'm a good computer person, and I cannot figure out the computer.
You like
the app
better.
is way easier. Way easier.
But one thing on the computer you can do is it will analyze your Facebook and tell you, if you want to post 4 times a day, it will tell you the 4 best times to post for your page when you have the most activity on your page. I love that.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
So you can set that up for your schedule. It's in the test phase right now. It's like beta. And there's a little thing at the bottom, and you can click it, and it'll give you a recommended, like if you say 6 times a day. For a while I was doing 6 times a day. And it'll tell you the peak times to do it. One of mine was 3 a.m. I'm like, this is totally not right. I don't have people up at 3 a.m. That's not really right. But anyway, I think that's a great thing to offer just based on your analytics.
It works. I'm telling you, I'm a believer. After the last week and a half, I'm a 100% believer, because I set mine up to post 4 times a day. And then, of course, I post my own whatever throughout the day if I want anything about my kids or whatever.
Listen, if you are doing just Plexus 4 times a day, people are going to block you and hide you.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be doing your regular life stuff too. You've got to throw that in there, because we don't want to be just an infomercial for Plexus and that's it. You've got to throw in some personal stuff. And there are lots of times I'll do a selfie or a picture of my kids or whatever, just to buffer all of my Plexus stuff, just so I have some personal posts for the day. And I'll tell you all this too, and I didn't figure it out until a lot later. And I've told you this, I think, on the silver page, but even somebody that just likes one of your posts, write their name down. Somebody told me, I was probably 8 months in, And I heard somebody on a video or something say, even if somebody just likes your page, make note of that. So I went back to the very beginning and I looked at every single person that wasn't a Plexus person that had liked my post, and every single one of them later reached out to me.
Oh, wow.
So, and a lot of them were then on my team. And so now I'm very cognizant of that. Like I had somebody 3 days ago like one of my posts, and it was not an overtly Plexus post, but it had some Plexus in it. It was more personal, but I had in there like Plexus probs or something. And this is a girl that, I mean, gosh, I would dream of having on my team that I didn't even think she would consider it. And messaged me today and said, I want to know about taking Plexus and maybe joining your team. I'm like, it's so true. So go back and look at all of your posts. Anybody that even liked it. One of my 8th grade teachers had started liking a couple of my posts when I first figured this out. And I messaged her and said, hey, I just noticed that you'd like some of my Plexus posts. I didn't know if maybe you'd be interested in the products or if you were just supporting me. And she said, I really am just so happy for you and glad that it's helped you. I know people have had thyroid problems, and I'm excited for you, and I'm just watching you. I'm not ready to try the products yet. And I'm like, yet. She went on my list. Like I still, every couple months, I'm like, Miss Weatherford, I notice you're still liking my post. Are you ready to get started? And I'll put ha ha ha, lots of times I'll make it into a joke just to ease that. Hey, did you all see the magic text today that I shared?
Yes.
On the Go for Silver page?
I used it.
Did you see it? She calls it, this girl calls it the magic text. If you go on our silver page and search for the magic text, it'll pull it up.
I think it was last night, though, wasn't it?
I'm telling you, my days this week are so blurred together. I've slept like a total of 12 hours all week doing Go for
I
Silver.
believe that because I know you're like, we were messaging at midnight and then at 3 a.m. you were like posted something. I'm like, Gwen never sleeps.
I do usually sleep. Honestly, I've gotten a lot healthier about my sleep. But when I started writing the training page and then I started working on this silver program, I've been all Plexus all the time. My poor family apart. And I haven't done this since I started. It's like now it's like we're doing this. I want you all at silver. Like I'm just pumped about it. But this chick that I watched this video, I've never heard of her. She's Sapphire. She's 25. It was telling everybody about this. She sends this message, this magic text to everybody. You want to read it, Christy? You have it?
I found it, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, this may not be for you, and that's okay, but I think you would be the most perfect person on my Plexus team. Can I call you today or tomorrow?
That's it. She says, don't change a word. She said one night she sent this out to 51 people and had all of these responses of people that were interested. And I think that is so simple. And and that's easy to just send out to 5 or 10 people and not even think about it. So it's word for word on there on the page, and you can go in and copy it. And your next 5 people, send it to them and see what happens. And if they say yes, call them, because I think calls, they can hear the excitement of your voice. Even those, when you send out text messages like Timmy Yancey, follows up with the voice message. I think that's so effective for them to hear you and hear your excitement. So phone calls go a long way, I think. Have you all gotten to do that and do some voice messages along with the text?
I did.
Yeah. And did you get a good response to that?
I think I got a couple back. Yeah.
I think they're more likely to, you have a lot of people that'll never respond, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But I think when they get a voice message and you're saying their name, you're talking about their personality, complimenting them, they're more likely to at least respond to you. And that helps me just to get some kind of response. There's some that just the crickets are so loud you can't hardly stand it, but to get a response helps.
Yeah, speaking of crickets, that's my biggest hang up, which I know I've said to you now numerous times, that I just can't believe people don't respond at all. Like I just can't believe, even if it's, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'm not interested at the time.
Yeah.
Something, but it's like, even when I follow up or call or send another text or send an email, if I started with a Facebook message, something, it's like nothing.
Yep.
I think lots of times people think, oh, she's sending this to 100 people. She sent this to everybody on her list, you know? And it's kind of like when you get the mass invite to something. And that's why with these events, you know, I'm saying personal calls and personal messages to them are going to get people there. But if you're just sending a text invite, they're not coming. They're not going to show. So when they get something generic, they tend to think, oh, you've sent this to 100 people because of some scheme or plan that we have. And so it doesn't matter if I respond or not, you know. Or if you just throw in something personal, you know, to say the things I really like about you and the things that you're already doing that I think would make you great at this. The more personal it is, the more likely they are to respond, I think.
I have a friend who is a good friend, and we had lunch, and she suffers from plantar fasciitis and asked me to do all this research for her, and I did. And she was like, if it works for me, I'll have 8 more people who are going to want to try this. And I was like, this is heavenly. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I jumped on it, and I can't get her to respond to me. And it's not generic. It's very detailed. I've made it very personal. I've given her testimonial links. I've done everything but call her. And now it's to the point where I feel like if I call her, she's going to be like, okay, you know, and I don't know what to do about it because I want to help her because she was limping.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I know. And it really helped Brandy with hers.
I know. Well, I'll tell you, I had a new ambassador sign up who's one of my dream teamers. Okay. And I'm talking, she was in my top 5 from the beginning. And I was so pumped. And she wanted to do Fast Start Gold and all of this stuff. And then she's like, oh, I've got this second job and I'm going to quit this second job so I can just focus on Plexus. And I think I can get 20 people the first month. I'm going to get that $700 bonus. I mean, I got so psyched for her. And she needs it. Like, she's taken on some other kids that aren't hers and all this stuff. I was just so excited and so pumped. I started, you know, she signed up. But then I'm saying, did you get your products yet? You know, how is it going? We met, had lunch, came up with her game plan, her action plan for Fast Start Gold. I mean, all that stuff. And finally, honestly, I sent her a message and just said, I called her and left a message and said, okay, I'm starting to get paranoid that you think I'm stalking you. I just cracked up laughing about it. And, you know, she called me back within 5 minutes. I mean, she almost immediately. So I think maybe if you call and leave a message like that and just laugh it off like no big deal, you know, like, okay, I'm really not stalking you. Just after we talked, I got excited. I wanted to help you. It's okay if you don't want to do it. That's great. I just like to talk to you, know how you're doing. I think that kind of takes the pressure off.
Okay.
For you to laugh about it, for them to hear that you're okay and you're not stressed about why they're not calling you back. It kind of diffuses the tension.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I mean, I just try to always put everybody at ease and go, it's not a big deal. It's not a big, you know, if you don't want to, that's what I love about that magic text is saying this may not be for you and that's okay. Like, I can take you or leave you. I'm not, and that's part of what happens, you guys. I'm sure you've seen this already. It's an emotional roller coaster. I mean, you can really be like, nobody's responding. I don't even know if I should be doing this. You know, why did I sign up for this? And then your rock star calls you. And then you're like, whoa, I'm going to be gold in 2 weeks. You know, then you're on top of the world. And then they never tell you when they get their product, like my rock star. And then you're like, oh, why am I doing this? I mean, that's where like Brandy and I having each other. And we started really just so close together. We're like a team ourselves, more than upline and downline even. And we kind of balance each other out. So when she's having a down week, you know, it's like your marriage. Like usually she's having a good week if I'm having a down week. You do that and you just have to know like the people that win in the end, the diamonds, the sapphires, the double diamonds, Celeste Wynn has down days. She has days, honestly, people, that probably 500 people quit her team. But she's got 45,000. So for 500 people to quit your team in a day is probably not a big deal. I mean, that happens to her. And it bothers her, I'm sure. I mean, that's part of this. The beauty of this business is that it's yours. The beauty of it is you can go to the very top if you just persevere. And that means no matter how many no's you get, you stick with it, you stay positive, you keep plugging. The downside of this business is it's all yours. So if you get discouraged and you quit posting and you quit following up, it will die. She describes it like a bathtub with the drain pulled up, with the plug undone. If you just sit there in the bathtub with the plug undone, it is going to empty, right? But if you turn on the water, even though it's draining all the time, you're going to lose people. I don't think I realized going into it, like you're going to get 10 people and be so pumped, 7 of them will quit on you. Okay? That's the beauty. I mean, it's the downside. It's not the beauty of it. It's the downside of it is you're going to lose, probably 2/3 of the people that you get. The plus side is you only need a few real workers to go to the very top. One of the diamonds we met in DC last year had 6 level 1s when she went diamond.
Wow.
6. And it's because she hunted. She went straight after the friends she knew were going to go get this, that wanted to go to Hawaii with her. They all got busy and they went after the business. She didn't fish. She hunted from day one. So that can happen. You don't need a dozen people. You don't need 100 level 1s. You need probably 2 or 3 that are really going to work it. And so in the meantime, you just go through a lot of people that you sign them up, you give them everything they need, and you wait to see if they're going to be a runner or a walker, or they're going to be somebody that wants to ride the float. There's always going to be a lot of people that want to ride the float and have you pull. And so you kind of figure out, and when you get a runner, when you get somebody that not just by their words, but by their actions, they want it, they're hungry for it, you move in with them. You spend all the time you can with them. You help them in every way you can. And that's what Brandy did with me. It's what I've done with my runners. You just make yourself available to them. And the people that work it once every month or so, you don't have to be on call for everybody, but your people that are working it, you want to be there for them. And that's what this week, I basically have made all of you all my runners. Anybody in this Go for Silver team that wants it, like I'm in with you. I am your sponsor, your other sponsor. I'm available. If you text me, if you say, I've got somebody right now and they've got fibromyalgia, what do I do? Like, I'm here. I can't always be here because I've got my own runners and we have to stick to our, you always go to your sponsor first. And the best thing really is go online, look on the DDD page. That's the first place I look for anything. I search for rheumatoid arthritis or whatever it is. If I can't find an answer, I'll look on Plexus Power Tools. Then I'll call Brandy. If I can't get Brandy or she doesn't know, then I call Erin. So we try to stick to that organizational structure. But for this week, I feel like I've got an extra 40 level 1s, and I want to be there for you guys because really, I want to see by Sunday night that we've got 10 new golds, 20 new golds, new silvers. Do you know how awesome that would be if just all of you guys went silver? How amazing that would be. Amy, you need what? One more?
One more.
One more. Is Tabitha still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Okay. I'm looking for you. Oh, there you are. Okay. So yeah, you need 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to happen. Listen, these online events are also very powerful. If there's any way you can be there, if you've got teammates also that are doing the silver thing with us, invite it. Try to get 20 people that'll say, yes, I'll be there. Now, half of them probably won't come, but get a verbal yes. Call them or face-to-face invite them. And these events, we're going to be there. We're going to be chiming in and helping. I did one the other night with Amy Goodwin, who's been in our Go for Silver group. And the great thing is you leave them open even after the event is over. Let's say only a few people show up for the actual hour. You leave it open for 2 weeks. So then all the people that couldn't come during that hour, you can still send them back to that page, and they get to get all the information and see all of our comments. And so even Saturday and Sunday, if you get to the party and there are just 5 people in there that aren't ambassadors, you just keep going. And when it says ambassadors, what have you gained from ProBio? Get on there and give your comments, because people will keep looking at these events for a long time. And everything we say is building their belief in the company and the products, and in you. So I'm really excited. Have some volunteers. I'm going to be out of town. I have some volunteers, though, that are running both of those events. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get in there and chime in some. But that's really important, and I just urge you. I had an ambassador tonight that had an event, and she didn't have anybody show up. Now, it was a group thing, but I think, too, she may have sent out a bunch of mass text messages. Or, the tempting thing is to go on an online event, hit the invite button, and hit all my friends. And you're just not going to get anybody from that unless you personally say, hey, I'm doing this online event. I need 10 people just to be there for me. Would you just show up for an hour or just drop in part of the time?
This is stupid, but walk me through the logistics. I just cannot wrap my brain about how does that work? So everyone logs on it and say whatever time, and then what happens?
Okay. We're using a program called postmyparty.com. And lots of times, like Samantha Carver has done several of these events, and every 2 minutes she would manually post like a picture of ProBio and then a little blurb about what ProBio does. And she would say, ambassadors who are in here, what has ProBio done for you? And then any of the ambassadors that are at the event comment. And then the customers who are in there may have a question like, wait a minute, how does it oxygenate the blood, or whatever? Then you've got several knowledgeable ambassadors in there to help you answer those questions. And so every 2 minutes, something new is popping up. A new product or part of the comp plan.
So we can't see each other, though. It's just reading.
You can only see the people that are posting. Can see their names. So you could have customers in there that aren't saying anything, and you don't even know they're there. So you got to be aware of that too. It may look like nobody's there, but there could be 10 people watching the whole event.
But
so
we're not making
interact.
We're not putting up those posts. They're
no. You don't have to do anything but get customers there, and you be there. They're going to want it, and they'll tag you. They'll say, Christy, what about this? And then we can help you answer that question. So you don't have to have all the answers or anything. I'm using this app called postmyparty.com. I have a free trial right now. And honestly, I'm using it for our Go for Silver page. It's posting automatically. I set it all up at the beginning of the week. What time I want it to post, what I want it to post. And that's what it's going to automatically run both of these events. So it's going to look like I'm sitting at my computer every 2 minutes posting something up when I may be on a plane. So it's going to look like I'm hosting the party and I'm there, but I'm not. And I think that's going to be a real valuable tool for us to use as a team. These online events, they're really having great success. Some of the diamonds are with those, where it's nothing to sign up for 6 ambassadors that night. So it's a great way for you. We're going to do these events this weekend, but I think it's a great idea for you to do a launch party after we kind of wrap up the Silver Week. If you have not done a launch party with your sponsor, doing one in person, like I said, most of the parties we've done live, nearly everyone leaves. I'd say 90% of the people leave either a customer or an ambassador. And the one in Louisville that we did, we had, I don't know how many, we got 6 or 7 ambassadors that night. That's huge. That's a lot. So live events are great, but you've got to get bodies there. Sometimes having giveaways and that kind of stuff will help get people there. And even the online events, we do giveaways. And that helps because we'll say, anybody that's new here, say what you hope Plexus can do for you. And then you kind of find out who's in the room and, who's participating. So we'll be doing that this weekend too. And we'll make sure they get the prizes and all that stuff. But all you have to do is show up and try to get, invite 20 people and try to get 10 that will say, yes, I will be there. I'm committed to be there. That's it. And
So they
you can
don't
do
get a
launch
reminder.
too.
They don't get a reminder at the time, though. You just have to do what? Log in somewhere?
Oh, at the time you just go to that page. Now, I haven't invited everybody yet to the page. Is there anybody I have?
I've been invited.
You got yours? I was kind of waiting. I really haven't had very many people tell me what day. So I'm going to say this to everybody that's not here that watches the video of this. Like, please send me Saturday or Sunday, whichever day you want to do, so I can get you on the page. So I think it helps right before the event. Go ahead and get those things on your page, your personal page, the graphics I provided. Get that out there and say, if you want to be invited, private message me and let me know, and I'll get you an invite. It's perfectly fine to get that out there on your page and start advertising it. But we're not going to send mass invites. You only send the invite from that page. There's a little invite button. So you can go on that page. Amy, I'll make sure you get on there. And from that, it'll send an invitation to the event to whoever has told you, yes, they want one.
So once they've told us yes, I can click that little envelope and invite them.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
After they tell you, yes, I want an invite, you can invite them from that button. And then, like 5-10 minutes before the event, I would go back on your personal page, your personal Facebook page, 15 minutes before probably, post the graphic for the event again and say, this starts in 15 minutes. It's a private meeting. If you want in on it, you need to let me know right now. I'd love to have you come to my party. And so you remind them. And even right at the beginning of our event the other night, Amy Goodwin, we had her texting everybody who'd said yes. She's texting them and reminding them, don't forget to come to my party, come to my PJ party tonight. And so, the more I think texting and calling, all that, the personal touch is what gets people there for live events or online events, either one.
Okay.
I'm going to have to wrap up because I've got another team meeting going on. Do you all have any other last minute things or any suggestions about this week or concerns or just questions in general?
The graphic for the online event, remind me what it looked like.
It's hot pink and black. It looks like a banner.
Yes.
There's one for Saturday and one for Sunday.
Yep, got it.
Got it.
Thank you.
So you can put that anywhere, and even text it to people and say, hey, I'm having this party. Would you want to come and find out more about Plexus? You don't want to bombard them. And that's why I like the idea of putting it on your wall and letting them respond, and then if they say, hey, I do think I would be free. I like to do that. Then send them an invite.
Okay.
And, I've kind of gone back and forth because I do think you having your own launch party, whether it's in your home or you do an online event, is very valuable for you to do with your sponsor. And that lends, a lot of credibility too if they come to your home and your sponsor's there and you're able to do it that way. Sometimes you can't and you need to do an online thing. But I think if nothing else this weekend, it will give you all a taste of, like, I love that you're here, just that you're doing this. Like, now you know what Zoom is. You know how Zoom works. You know that you can turn off the audio or the video. If you don't want us to hear your dog barking, you can turn off the audio. If you have curlers in your hair, you can turn off the video. It's flexible, but once you do it, you're kind of past that. And we do these all the time, and it's really fun to get to see everybody's face. And then I wanted you all to get a taste of what an online event looks like. It is hard to imagine. And when you're in it, it feels kind of like a circus because it's like you got to refresh your page every 2 minutes because it's just going. But it goes fast, and the hour goes by really quickly, and usually get some leads from it. So it'll be good for you just to get that under your belt. But I encourage you guys to really think about your 3 that you would like to get by Sunday night to go silver, or your 2 or your 1, depending if you already have ambassadors. But almost everybody needs 3. And what else you can do, to reach out. And I'm kind of assigning you all to do 5 messages a night. You can do more if you want to. You can reach out to more people And you can try the magic text and see, try it with a few people and see how it works. And if it doesn't sound like you or feel right, then don't do it anymore. But I think you can just try different things and see what works. Because ultimately, the people who are supposed to end up on your team will end up on your team. And you will have people on your team that bless you in ways you cannot imagine. You'll have people on your team that challenge you in ways you cannot begin to imagine. The Lord brings right people who are supposed to be on your team. He just does. And it will happen. And everybody's journey is so different. Some people go silver overnight. Sarah Marble, it took her 7 months to get one ambassador. One. And now she's a rock star. I mean, she's a diamond and she leads all of these things. So if you all get a chance, if you want to do more, I know you just have so much free time. You'd love to just do a little bit more. Go to the Pretty in Pink training page. Start with lesson 1. Some of that stuff is stuff, I'm cramming a lot of that into this week, but just start on the new ambassador part and just work your way through. And on that troubleshooting page, it's got all kinds of, like, what if somebody says it's too much money? There's a section on just that. So you can learn as you go. So really that needs to be one of your number one resources. That's probably where you need to start now in looking for things. And then look on the Destination Diamond page, then message your upline. But I mean, Brandy and I are with you guys right where you are, and nothing would thrill us more than to see all of you go silver by Sunday. That's what I'm praying. So how many people have some good leads? Hold up hands. How many leads do you have? 2, 1, 3, 1. Oh, good. Y'all, this is so exciting. And I know the idea of a 3-way call is kind of intimidating because you think, like, how's that going to work? What are we going to say? I mean, it was intimidating to me, but I'm just telling you, I've done a few now, and they're awesome. They're awesome. And we're not pressuring them at all. I mean, like, if you were my level 1 and you plug me into a phone call and you're like, so-and-so's, interested in the product, she might want to sell it, but she's not really sure. I mean, what I do is, like, tell me about you. Tell me about your hopes and dreams. And here's what I've seen, and here's what Plexus could do for you. And then I end up with, are you ready to get started? If not, what's holding you back? Just exactly the things we've talked about. So it's short, it's sweet, and it's very effective. So don't be hesitant to talk to your upline and if you have hot prospects, do those 3-way calls. Sarah Marble says she has 100% sign-up rate with 3-way calls. 100%. I'm not Sarah Marble, but if you can't get your upline, I will certainly try. I'll do everything in my power. I'll do that call with you, and we'll get it going. I'm so proud of all you guys and so excited about this week. I know it's been hard, but it has been so fun to watch you guys get on the bike. You can read all day long about riding a bike, but till you get on it, like, you're not going to ride. And you guys are riding, like, you are on it. You're light years ahead of where I was when I started. Light years ahead. So I think you're just going to see it multiply. You don't always see the fruit right away, but you will. So hang in there, like that little kitten I sent. Hang in there, everybody. And you all have a good rest of the week. Don't hesitate to message me or text me if you need help, or enlist me for a 3-way call, even if I'm traveling. If I have Wi-Fi, I will do it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. You all have a great night. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.